Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook. Sign up now for a $20 free bet. Just use the code IFLTV24. Sign up now. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Oscar Bevis for IFL TV. My pleasure to get Adam Smith back on IFL. Man, it's been a long time for me, so really good to see you, Adam. How are we today?
I'm good, Oscar. Thank you. I'm feeling fit and well, and I'm excited to be at this press conference. Excited what's happening in Saudi at the moment. I was out there for the Day of Reckoning, and really had a good time. And to see AJ and Wilder and Parker and Daniel Dubois and everybody out there, and Frank and Eddie getting on, it was just quite surreal, really. I landed on the Thursday, and within about an hour, I was in front of sort of all these fighters and in Turkey's home, and it was just all wonderful and bizarre and everything in the same time. Look, it's fantastic what's going on there. They're really invested in it. They're very passionate about this sport, and we're getting the big fights. And okay, it's maybe not not the fight the trade would want to see, but this is certainly the biggest collision of the Adonises, isn't it? Knockout chaos in AJ and Ngannou, and you're looking at big entertainment, and I think that's what the Saudis want to bring. You see with the football and with the golf, and I think that they want the huge names, the huge happenings, and to get all the fighters on the Day of Reckoning card. And I've just heard that Joe Parker and Zhilei Zhang is set for this one, and it's just going to roll on. You've got Fury and Usyk, obviously, the first undisputed, unified championship for nearly 25 years. It's fantastic, and it's happening in Saudi, so we've got to be there. And it's great what Turkey and everybody are doing there. It's wonderful for the sport, and it's strange to see the sort of crossover again. I remember with Mayweather and McGregor and the sort of circus around that, but this is different. This is heavyweight boxing, and as we saw with Tyson and Ngannou, heavyweight boxing can change, and it can change dramatically. So AJ is going to have to be very, very careful on March the 8th.
How do you kind of view AJ and the setup he's got now with Ben Davison? Obviously, look, we're one performance into that and one performance only, but you've seen his journey up close, up closer than many. So from the period of perhaps the world title in 2016 and the rise then, and then Ruiz and perhaps the doubts that sunk in, to see what we saw against Wallin, how are you kind of viewing AJ's whole setup at the moment?
It all went really smoothly, didn't it, for Joshua at the beginning of his career under Robert McCracken, who did such a fantastic job. But, probably the demons set in a little bit with Andy Ruiz. He was careful in the rematch, wasn't he? He got the win, became two-time champion. But I think that he just probably needed a change. Ben Davison is a very good trainer, and I think that AJ's listening to him. And that's the difference I saw in Saudi, that he executed a game plan that Ben gave him, and it was very simple, and he used that jab again, he utilized his skills, he looked confident. He shut Valin out very early on, and I like him and Ben. I think it's going to be a good union, and I also like the fact Joshua's fighting regularly. I think he's got momentum now. I think he's got momentum at the right time, and let's see what happens with Fury and Usyk, and see what happens on March the 8th with Ngannou. And we'd all love to see Fury and Joshua in a ring finally, and maybe it will happen.
I mean, this is probably a better question posed for Ben, I guess, but in terms of the analysing aspect, Ben is a very technical analyser. Him, Lee Wiley, Barry, very video-based, etc. When you've got one fight to go off, how much do you think they'll be analysing Ngannou? One boxing fight to go off. Do you actually think they'll be looking at any of the UFC fights at all? Because he was a stand-up guy in the UFC.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll look at everything they can. I think they'll. Why wouldn't you really? You want to give yourself every sort of advantage. But of course they're going to go on the Fury fight. But they're going to look at what Joshua does, and that's what against Otto Wallin. Yeah, he'd beaten him in the amateurs, but people thought he'd struggle maybe with the southpaw stance. Apart from Charles Martin and the win, he struggled with Alexander Usyk, who's obviously completely different caliber, but he did in the amateurs at AJ with a southpaw, and this is another southpaw. Okay, he's only had one fight. It's an odd situation, but you've got to take him very, very seriously for the fact that he gave Tyson Fury, a huge scare. Probably the worst performance that Tyson's had since he fought John McDermott way back when, and I think he was very lucky to get through that, Tyson. So, look, Ngannou will have built confidence from that. Should Joshua win? Of course he should. If he keeps it simple, if he keeps it effective, if he uses that jab again, if he gets that confidence, he should be able to cut Ngannou down. But there's that power. And if Ngannou lands, you don't know. And Joshua's been down a few times, and mentally he's got to keep really switched on. And I think that's where Ben will play a massive part.
Yeah. I'll be disappointed if we don't get a knockout, considering it's called Knockout Chaos. But do we get it early, or do we get it late, or do we get it at all, in your opinion?
Well, that's it. We might not get it. It's knockout chaos, you know. Always expect the unexpected in heavyweight boxing. I think there will be a stoppage with this one. You know, they all said that Batebiev and Smith the other day would not go the distance. I agreed. It wouldn't go the distance. Yeah, shame for Callum, but Batebiev is, you know, he's an animal, a monster, isn't he? In there, he's just. He doesn't look the part sometimes, but he just traps you, and he's so brilliant, especially in a small ring like that. I think this will end inside the distance, and
Early or late?
I think if it's early, it's got to be Ngannou. But I think if Joshua gets into some sort of rhythm, I see Joshua just executing that plan, and Ngannou getting very frustrated. But you never know with that punch power. Arguably, Joshua's never been in with anyone that hits like Ngannou. So yeah. We wait and see, and we will we'll wait with eager anticipation, Oscar, won't we?
Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook. Sign up now for a $20 free bet. Just use the code IFLTV24. Sign up now. Terms and conditions apply.